Hello there. So as you can see, I just finished 10 Holds of Hell. So now I'm going to explain every single jump in this, this grand mountain. Now, before that, I do want to go through my thought process when making this mountain. Yes, 10 Holds of Hell, 10 holds. But the reality is, a lot of the difficulty comes from stuff that isn't related to climbing game at all. So if we count out all the holds, we have 10 holds, of course. But we also have a few just regular obby jumps. We have 1, 2 here. We have 3, 4, this wrap to here. 5, 6, 7, 8. So the reality is, not just about almost half of the, about 50-50 of this entire mountain's difficulty isn't related to climbing game at all. So that puts into question whether or not this should be really on your radar as a map you should be to further your climbing game skill. But what this map does really show is a lot of the cool tech you can do. Of course, integrating both climbing game stuff and regular obbying, which is what I intended here. So let's just fly through the tower. Not the tower. I've been playing a lot of Ito recently. The mountain. A bit of a boulder, I'd say. So this very first thing right here, a lot of people get stuck here because what they want to do is they want to stand right here and try to go no, that's not correct. I think a lot of people realize quickly that you can just do this. Now this jump right here, this is the jump that everyone gets stuck on. They go like that and they have no idea what to do. And this is more of the obbying sort of stuff. I'd say this is not a good first jump because it doesn't really prove your climbing game skill. It's mostly obbying. I play a lot of tiered obbies, so I'm used to this. Where you have to get closer to the truss. As you can see, I'm not close enough. So what you have to do is press W and then let go, and then press space late. Press W late. So you land on the truss a little bit later, so you're a little bit closer to truss, as you can see right there. Climb down a little bit, and just like that, I'm able to do this grump right here. Next up, we got this right here. Now, this is a really, inconspicuous spot right here, because everyone thinks, oh, I can just make that jump. Go like that. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, as you can see, this is not gonna cut it. And some people are familiar with wedge climbing, and they're able to do that, which is okay. I'm okay. That's kind of what I intended. But the more practical solution, because this is not always gonna work. I'm sorry. I wanted people to really do one of these, where you climb on the edge of the wedge like this, so then you can plan out your next jump accordingly. And that wraps up just about the 2 first holds. This is probably the biggest hurdle right here. This is why a lot of people quit the map early, I'd say. And next we got this, I like to call it ceiling grip, basically. So you have this grip, and then you have a ceiling. And it's basically a timing exercise where you have to press space in succession, basically double space. And a lot of people struggle with this because their timing isn't on point. You basically have to, just like you double click with your mouse, you have to double click with space. It's hard to learn, but once you get the timing down, it gets pretty consistent. And a lot of people forget that because climbing game does this thing where if you don't press any direction key after you jump, you go higher, you have to hold a direction key every single time, or else you'll just get your head bumped, and you can't do anything about that. Okay, now this jump, this is another big roadblock, and I think people realize what to do, but the general idea is that you want your entire torso to be beyond this blockade of sorts, so you can make this wrap. Now this wrap is really easy, because not only do you have a short distance to go, the crumble just basically gravitates you. Now this part is one of those big faults of mine. Just like the first jump is obbying skill, this is also obbying skill. What you have to know is how ladders work. You can't just climb down a lot of times. Sometimes you have to go up and then climb down. And this jump right here to the release is really scary because people realize, oh, I have to go to this release, then to this grip. And people often rush it and keep holding space while they're on the release, and they end up going straight into the ceiling, and that's not what you want. And sometimes when you jump on there, you get strung back to the crumble, and that's intentional. It was meant to make it so you have to rush down, and it kind of does that, but it's not 100% consistent. I had like a bunch of ideas. They're not executed perfectly, and I think that's perfectly fine, because the whole point of this thing is that you're supposed to get consistent. So as you can see, this is a really swift maneuver. You actually have a lot of time. Like if I fly back to here, I'll get to this in a second. You're given like a straight up 1 second. Now this is where a lot of people get really confused. Like, how am I supposed to get from there to there? That's what people think you have to do, and they try to do like some random stuff. But if you know anything about the game, yeah, that can happen. So essentially, if you're on a hold and then you get touch a out of bounds block, you get reset to the beginning, but because you're touching the grip, you get pulled and then you get into this hole. I haven't seen anyone try to go from the release to this hole, and I honestly don't think it's possible, because as you can see, when you're on the grip and you touch the out of bounds thing, you not only get that, but you get an extra jump, so you're able to get out of the hole. And this is really consistent. The out of bounds glitch is really, really consistent. I call this spawn preservation, or the spawn hold preservation, because you can preserve the hold you're on and whilst being at spawn. And I use this a lot. I'm gonna use this a lot in my new map called the Long Wall, coming soon. Now this right here, you notice how each hold has its own color? Well, this section has 2 holds, and you'll see why. So a lot of people are like, okay, I need to get from that crumble to the release. And that is technically correct. You can do this, but you're gonna find that that's really, really difficult. What the intended way is, well, let me just show you, because I've done this a bunch of times, and let me tell you, people don't do this to that really consistent. I'm doing consistently, but a lot of people struggle with it. The intended route is to go all the way around. As you can see, this crumble latches onto you, because if you go to the debug tool, the spheres actually collide. So what you're supposed to do is get rid of the crumble, and then before the crumble comes back, you're supposed to get to the release. Now this is one of the, this jump to the crib is, you know, not too hard. But one thing you might realize is that your stamina isn't recharging. So you move around to like, oh, my stamina's recharging, and that's because you're in the standing position. And when you're in a standing position, you actually regain stamina. Now one really fast way to do this is just to go like that. Now I'm not entirely sure what exactly qualifies as a standing position, but it seems like if your legs touch the floor, you should be fine. And we go to this crib. A lot of people mess this up. Oh, I kind of overshot that. That's actually hard to do. So yeah, just like that. And what a lot of people will do is they'll hold W when they get onto the truss, and that makes them bonk their head, or just miss it entirely, or they won't get enough height. It's a number of factors. Now this is like the thing that where you need practice for. Without practice, this jump is basically impossible. It requires a very specific use of tech, and personally, I think it's one of the best jumps if you know what you're doing. It's really fun to do. Now the whole gimmick behind this is that you get a speed boost when you get out of any hold. I think it's better if I show it here. You can see I get a little bit of speed boost. Like your Roblox character does not normally go that fast. And essentially you need to clear this wrap and get all the way to there. I've done this without the help of the speed boost. It's ridiculously hard. Like this is like a kata plus jump. Like unless you've been katas or terrifyings, you're not beating this. Or anything equivalent to that. Or if you do it a lot, yeah, just like that. So that's a really hard jump. The average climbing game guy won't be able to do this, but with the grip, all you have to do is hold W and D. It's important that you hold both of these keys because the speed boost is in a particular direction. So when you hold W and D, you get in both directions. And then as soon as you let go, you want to release W, so you get only in the D direction. Just like that. That jump is super consistent. You can get it basically 100% of the time if you just follow my directions. Now sometimes you'll get flung off the stud. That's why we hold W, so we don't get flung off the truss, and we can actually clear the wrap. As you can see, I went way out, so you want to hug the wrap a lot more. to get everything consistent. Now, this is a really frustrating dead end, especially for people who don't play obbies a lot. Like, this looks really easy, but you can easily fail it if you're just not paying attention. Like, people will try to, like, they'll go like that. Oh, yeah, you need shift block. Shift block is basically required. This is basically your shift block check. Oh, did you beat it without shift block? I don't think so. At this point, you've already passed the 10 holes of hell. Just might as well hand your victory. But I won't give it to you easy. You see, you have to climb a slope. As you can see, as you saw that looks really easy, but it's not quite so simple because you need to flick on the edge of the slope. You can't just jump up it. You have to specifically jump on the side. And this right here, if this was a regular stud, this would be really easy, but it's not. It's a lot harder, significantly harder, to the point where it's not consistent. I'm sorry. I don't have a consistent strat for it. You kind of just go for it. I'm letting it every time, but trust me, that is absolutely just pure luck. There's probably some, you know, precision timing where you like time the way you go up and down on the thrust and then land it perfectly. But if you do it enough times, you should be fine. And because of how small it is, some people will just straight up go down here like, oh yeah, that's how they fail. Yeah. So this is 10 holes of hell. Hopefully the explanation was good enough. If you have questions, go to Discord, search in Finish Maps, and you can see my post for 10 holes of hell. Give it a big star. And just to be clear, this is not meant to be like an actual map. This is really a showcase. It's a showcase of a bunch of mechanics that I think people should use more often when we, you know, ascend the ranks of crazy difficult maps. I think a lot of these tricks should be used a lot more. Especially this one. I think this is really funny because it's so unexpected. But I mean, it can get boring at some point. This right here, it's basically gambling. But everything here is consistent. When I beat it for the first time, it took me 3 hours. But the second time around, when I was trying to film this video, it took me about 20 to 30 minutes. And some random that came to the map beat in about less than an hour. So you can definitely beat this. Now, to Sugaler, this is Sugaler, yeah. He manages the list. And yeah, it's kind of surprising this game already has a list, but he currently has this listed at top 2. I personally disagree. I don't think this map is that difficult. It's above Winter Apricity, for crying out loud, which I think is ridiculous. Winter Apricity is at least 2 times harder than this by, you know, a pretty good margin. But that could be a bias just because I have obby experience, and as I said earlier, 8 out of 18 of the, you know, so-and-so obstacles are obby based. And if you're not involved in the obby community, that's going to be a real struggle to complete just by itself. There's plenty of mechanics that I didn't use in this map, such as zip lines and ropes, and that's intended. I don't want people to use ropes. I think ropes are a really dumb mechanic in the base game. They can help, you know, they can help, you know, people who are struggling with a mountain. But at the end of the day, it's a rage game. And I think people need to realize that this is entirely a rage game. Pixie Gore was a rage game. If you're expecting something relaxing, then yes, you can go to easier maps. But at the very top of it, at the end of the day, it is a rage game. If you fail, you're not playing the game. I mean, if you fail, you're playing the game. It's failure is always an option. So I personally think this should be downgraded a little bit. But other than that, that's about it. It's a really weird, funky map. It looks really doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that good, to be fair. But it's consistent, it's fun, it's new, and most importantly, it's interesting. And I hope you guys grind it. Goodbye.